I am very pleased to have in this segment joining us the President and CEO of the Hanover Theatre, Troy Siebels. Troy, the Hanover Theatre has been just a huge benefit to Worcester for Central Massachusetts, bringing people in, exposing them to amazing artists in all different forms. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, we were getting ready for the show today and just thinking that it's been 10 years already, but as the leader of that organization and with the support of a great board and Hanover Insurance Company, which helped make this happen, the opening of it. Just tell the story, what it's been like and how successful it's been. It's
been very successful. I mean, we have about 200,000 people a year through the door, and it's just grown every year. It gets broader and broader. We started with 80% of the audience from Worcester, and now 20% of the audience is from Worcester, and it's not that that audience has shrunk, it's that the rest of the region has grown so much, and so we're really drawing more and more people from the Route 9 corridor, from North and South counties, from New Hampshire and Connecticut to Worcester. And that's, I think, part of our goal going forward now in sort of the next phase is how do we really leverage that to turn around our little piece of downtown, down there, our theater district. How do we get those people to stick around and have dinner and shop and spend some time and money in the city?
And certainly, we know, when people come in, that 80% that you talk about come in from the region, from the Route 9 corridor, Metro West. They're usually coming to the show, but they're going somewhere before or after. So when you talk to the Worcester restaurant, bar kind of community, the people stop in for a drink or before or after dinner, apps. It's been a real plus.
Yeah, we hear that from the restaurant community a lot. And, we opened in 2008, which was maybe not the best time to open a new business, but we heard from a lot of...
For those of you who don't remember, it was the beginning of the Great Recession that we are looking at in the rearview mirror, thankfully.
We heard a lot of restaurants say that we were one of the reasons why they kept their doors open, at least through that process, so we're proud of that.
And, we've seen it's been an anchor for Main Street. When people talk about the foundations for kind of a rebirth of Main Street, it's building density, getting people living back downtown, but clearly two of the anchors have been, at one end the Hanover Theatre, the other one the new courthouse. It's how do we, and you're growing, your footprint, you've recently, an acquisition.
That's right, we've expanded, we've acquired the building immediately adjacent to the theater on the left there, and we're in the middle of construction now to include an education center to really take our education programs up to a new level, and some function rooms so we'll be able to accommodate more groups before and after shows, and I think a restaurant as well is on the way.
Yeah, well, that's a plus. But at the essence, and we also look at the Worcester and the Central Mass economy, so much of it is driven by kind of the arts, cultural, tourism, and people experiencing different things. At the root of it, what you do is art. And why don't you just, the range and kind of the shows that you've had, really kind of run the gamut.
Sure. Actually, can I look forward instead of looking back?
Absolutely.
This fall, I think we've kind of taken the Broadway series to a new level. We've got the Producers Tour coming through. It's everybody's favorite. We're actually opening the national tour of The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas in Worcester, which is kind of a neat thing to have them in town for a while rehearsing and teching the show, and then they'll tour it. But, we try to do something for everybody. You're not going to come to the theater 40 times a year. So to reach audiences that come 200 times a year. We've got to be all the way across a lot of different genres. Theater, music, we've got Lyle Lovett and the Pops coming this fall. Comedy, Last Comic Standing, Dave Chappelle, the Capitol Steps. This is a good year for the Capitol Steps. A lot going on in the political world.
Kind of a little lampoon and have fun with all the political candidates and song. And
Deepak Chopra and the Cake Boss, Buddy Vlastro, all over the map, but that's by design. That's part of what we think is this. We should be a resource and a destination for everybody. No matter who you are, there should be something that you see on our calendar. You say, wow, I'd really like to go see that.
You talked about the visitors, a couple 100,000 people who come through. How many nights a year is that, or days, a year? And then that number is pretty significant when compared to some of the measures that take place of people in your industry across the country, right?
About 180 performances a year. We are among the top 50 venues worldwide for people through the door, which is people are disbelieving of that. And it's not because we're a bigger venue or we have bigger and better shows. It's because we have a broader range and more days of the year. By comparison, the Wang Center was open 11% of the year last year, and so we're 50%,
right.
Roughly. And it's just keeping the door open one day after another.
And that's, a lot of time and effort, energy, scheduling, because, you can't just snap your fingers and sets and scenery and things pop up. You also have to have the artists get used to the theater and practice and kind of...
Yeah. It's a challenge, but we've got a great team and we've got a lot of support in the community. You mentioned the Hanover Insurance Company leading the way with the restoration 8 years ago, but so many of Worcester's families, individuals, companies, foundations played such a significant role that as a community we're all invested in it now, and we all want to see it succeed, and I think that's a big part of the reason why we have succeeded.
Right. In one area, you've also, again, these are artists, but encouraging young people and partnerships that you've engaged in locally and beyond, about getting young people to participate and pursue kind of their careers or hobbies in the arts.
Yeah,
the theater.
Education has been a piece of what we're doing. I think that there's been, over the last decades, actually, a sort of degradation of how much art we as a country teach in the schools, performing arts, I think, in particular. And there's so many lessons that the performing arts brings, the ability to speak with confidence and self-assurance, the ability to express yourself and think creatively. We think that's really critical in development of skills. Not every child is going to be an athlete, not every child is going to be an actor, but everyone needs to be able to stand in front of a group of people, whether it's 5 or 5,000, and speak with confidence at some point in their life. And we think we can help tomorrow's leaders do that.
Yeah, and the arts are just a great way to tell stories, the human story in so many different levels, historic. Our daughters went down to Memphis, and just, a great story about kind of the civil rights movement and told through the arts.
Yeah.
Good stuff. You gave us a little preview about the year ahead, holiday season coming, Grinch, what else?
The big things we're focused on right now are the Broadway series, The Producers and The Grinch. Our production of A Christmas Carol every December is one of the things that we're most proud of. We bring 20,000 people in to see that show, and it's been a hugely popular and a real cornerstone for us. Ragtime in January is one of the big favorites of mine.
Ragtime.
Yeah.
You also play a role not only as the leader of the Hanover Theatre, but Destination Worcester. We're going to talk a little bit about that in the next segment. We'll be joined by Danielle Shabo. But just the arts and culture community has really formed a coalition or a partnership that's kind of unique in Worcester and in Central Mass.
Worcester is such a collaborative place on every level. That's true in the cultural community as well. And this started as a cultural program, a cultural card, and it's really grown more broadly to a visitor destination card now, and then now it's grown to a digital format, which we'll talk about. But it's really, I think it's part of my job. It's part of the reason why we can hope to be successful as a theater, is that we're invested in the rest of the community, and if we can get more people to go to the Worcester Art Museum and the Ecotarium and Tower Hill, the more we'll enrich this whole region as a destination, and that's only going to benefit us at the end of the day.
Encouraging people to come and have a whole set of experiences.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we come back on the final segment of Chamber Exchange, a TV show. I want to thank our sponsor for making the segments, but stay with us. We've got more to talk about the transformation of the Woo Card to the Woo Pass for those here in Central Mass and those visiting Central Mass. Stay with us.